Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Moscow for the very final European Championship of Europe. The European Weightlifting Championships, which started 9 days ago, and we finished with the men's super heavyweights, a truly world-class competition. Very good afternoon. Here we are once again in the Palace of Gymnastics, named after Irina Vina Usmanova, on what is a lovely day in Moscow today. Temperature 17, 18, spring, almost summer in Moscow. But our attention, of course, is inside the Gymnastics Palace, where we have the Olympic and four-time world and four-time European champion heading the list of contenders. And this, the warm-up room, which has been so well regarded. It was modeled on what was produced in Batumi in 2019 with these individual booths and individual rest areas behind the booths. These are the big body weights, and you can see Talakadze 176.3 kilos, so by some way the heaviest man of the class. But of course there is no limit, so to speak. So a chance to meet the athletes, and this is Petr Nagy, third in Europe in 2018, his highest finish. And here is, well, the man who holds all the records. Snatch 220, clean and jerk 264, 484, and the Czech Republic's Camille Corchera, fifth in Europe 3 years ago. Next, Gora Manisyan, representing Armenia, a two-time world silver medalist, two-time European silver medalist, Rio Olympic silver medalist. And this is Varazadat Lalalian of Armenia, world and European junior. And this is the second man for Georgia, Togmanidze, who actually won the European title back in 2015. Russia, represented by Anthony Savchuk, two-time world and European junior champion. Edward Zhiazhulin for Belarus, fourth in the World and European Championships a couple of years ago. And Yeri Orsag of the Czech Republic, twice second and once third in the Europeans. And the youngster, this is Enzo Korogi of the Netherlands, the silver medalist 2 years ago in the European Juniors. So in every sense, they're achievers. So sit back with myself and Michaela Breeze, Commonwealth Games champion and European champion, and enjoy the action. But we begin with the best performances, Michaela, from the B group earlier in the day.
Yes, thank you, David. Alexei Bibik representing the Ukraine. He had a great day. 180, 185, and he went 3 from 3 to get this. 189 on his third and final attempt. Sits in deep. Small stutter forwards before saving it. Saw him in the lead after the snatch. That's the weight that will need to be surpassed. I think the lightest weight in the A group is a 165 that's been posted. Same lifter, Alexei Bibik, went on to take the lead on the clean and jerk. He secured 210 on his opener, followed by 221, which is the lift in question. He passed on his third and final attempt and finished with a total of 410 kilos. Not many more kilos left in the tank, and that explains the reason for his pass on his final attempt. 5 out of 5 lifts.
So 411 kilos, the lowest total registered in the A group, and they're the opening weights in purple. Those may change momentarily, depending on how the warm-up has gone. Well, it's been a terrific Sunday so far. Emily Campbell, brilliant for Great Britain. These, by the way, are the standards. You can see that the boss, Lasha Talakadze. He's got all the important marks there, but Giazulin, the junior records, and he's involved into today's competition. By the way, at the halfway stage in today's competition, we'll be showing you highlights of how Emily Campbell won the women's super heavyweights for herself and Great Britain a little earlier, so something to look forward to in the break between the snatch and the clean and jerk. Well, Mikhaila, super heavyweights, always exciting. We have no idea whether Lasha is mindful of going for a world record. He might do, he might not. He doesn't have to, given this field, because on paper, of course, he is way ahead.
He is way ahead. He's definitely the class lifter of this category. That said, there's a couple of Armenians that will be scratching at his heels, but we don't know what his intentions are, really. We don't know whether he's playing this conservatively ahead of Tokyo or whether he will be going eyeballs out. Time will tell.
So here we go, 170 kilos. Remember the man in the B group? The Ukrainian who lifted 189 kilos. He is leading at this moment in time. So Yuri Orsag, Czech Republic. Well, he's very experienced, and he is also one of 3 men, Mikhaila, who have served suspensions who are in this men's super heavyweights. Yuri Orsag, Gor Manisyan of Armenia, and also Lasha Talakadze back in 2013.
We don't make any excuses for naming and shaming. I think it is important that the viewers back home do understand the athlete's background. We can only hope that these athletes are now clean going forwards. But I certainly don't make any apologies for disclosing the names of those that have had suspensions. But regardless, Yuri Orsag, representing the Czech Republic, he's under a little bit of pressure here, retaping just to make sure. I'm guessing, it might be an occasion where the tape slips on your thumbs. That's never fun. I used to tape or retape my thumbs a couple of lifts before I went onto the platform, just to make sure that that didn't happen. So for me, it was prevention rather than waiting for a problem.
He's very experienced. He's been to the Olympics in London, where he finished 7th, in Rio when he finished 8th. His best ever finish in the World Championships, that was actually 2 years ago, in what was then the 105 kilo class, where he totaled up 422. His best ever total, 425 in the Olympics in Rio. Now 32 years of age. Silvers and bronzes in the Europeans, but yet to get a gold. Much better, good correction. And by the way, when I say yet to get a gold, I mean yet to win an overall championship gold. So 170, not particularly competitive, is it?
No, it's not competitive. Remember, we had a 189 from the B group. In fact, if I just have a quick check, we also had a 188 from David Lidnov of Israel. We had a 172 from Kadjoki of Serbia. So there were some decent weights lifted on the snatch from the B group, and we're yet to surpass those. In fact, at the moment, that lift only good enough for 6th place.
Exactly so. Enzo Kowogi for Holland. Right at the beginning of his career, only 19 in the junior ranks, but did compete in Europe, in the European juniors, got a silver medal 2 years ago. Well, he's just at the beginning of his career. He's opened up here with a 1 kilo personal best. And we haven't seen a Dutchman for a while in this sort of weight class, have we?
No, and Kawogi just coming out of the junior ranks. In fact, he may even still have this year as junior, but he's it's just nice to see starting on a personal best. This is the kind of thing that's natural. This is the kind of thing that we would expect to see from a young lifter who's been on lockdown for the last years, had a good year to get some training under his belt. So he's coming here in good shape, and it's a nice stepping stone for a youngster. And I'm sure we're going to see bigger and better things over the years to come.
Yeah, Kawogi, who weighed in at 158.5 kilos, already had some decent success. A youth European silver, a couple of them, and in the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 as an 85 kilo or over 85 kilo lifter. Took the bronze medal in that. Finished 10th in the Europeans last time around in Batumi. So very much an education once again for him, this championship. And Yeri Orsak coming out now to take his last attempt at 175, which means that he will obviously be surpassed by the B group lifters. Well, today he is 12 kilos behind his all-time best.
And he looks at the hand, maybe torn a callus, or well, it's only going to be a callus, isn't it, really?
Need to keep an eye on him because Ricardo, the rule says he has to finish within 20 kilos of the total he's entered. So the clean and jerks are going to be,
what total is he entered?
Crucial.
What's he entered?
Yeri 413. So here's an old friend, Perenaj from Hungary. Well, another inauspicious start, a man who's made 8 World and 8 European Championship appearances over the years and has been to 2 Olympic Games in London and Rio.
Well, clearly strong enough, bar flew to arm's length. Let's have a look. This is just not a great technical angle. I'm not sure why the cameramen haven't picked up on our cues yet. We want to see it from the side, but a whip of the shoulders back puts a bit of swing on the bar.
So come on, Enzo. Another personal best attempt here, taking him up to 176. With his whole career ahead of him, the best of his ability, I'm sure he's really been earnest in his preparation. Good explosive fire. Good second attempt.
Great second attempt. Enzo Kawogi really on fire. That second attempt was even more aggressive than the first. And it's controlled aggression. It has to be. In that split second, in that moment, you get one opportunity to impart your force powerfully, and he's done that tremendously well.
Well, Perenaj in his time has seen plenty of the great super heavyweight lifters. A bronze overall, his best finish in the Europeans, his highest finish in any continental championship.
putting the wrongs to right on this second attempt. A couple of side steps. Bar goes around his knees a lot off the floor. It's slightly out of position, but he's strong enough to stabilise overhead.
Another of the Czechs, Camille Corchera, a regular in the super heavyweight class. Didn't have a very good time in Pattaya in Thailand 2 years ago in the World Championships. Failed to get a total. Was 5th in Europe in 2019. Well, a lot of these guys in their 30s, experience, but they're losing their first attempts.
Too many first attempts go to ground. It puts the lifters under significant pressure. Strong enough, the bar's flying up, just slightly behind the bar when he lands. This is why the positions are so important. If you're in the right position, you've got a chance of executing. If you're out of position, that's when you swing the bar, and that's when you end up with the inconsistencies.
The host country, of course, have had great super heavyweights, Russia, over the years. You'll remember some of them. The most recent, Ruslan Albagov, that was in 2013 and 2014, but perhaps more memorable, Mr. Chemurkin. Remember him, Mikhaila? He won 4 times. The heaviest super heavyweight of all time in terms of body weight.
Did he win in 98? I think I was,
yeah.
No, 98,
95,
96.
97, 98, 99.
Yeah.
And do you know what his weight was at birth? His weight was at birth was 12.6 pounds.
Blimey. No, I remember watching him. They were my early days as a
What do your twins
lifter.
weigh in at?
Oh, goodness me. They weren't even that combined. About 6 pounds each. No, one was just under 6 pounds, one was six pounds on the dot. So,
and of course, the greatest, I guess, of all time was Vasily Alexeyev. 80 world records. He was the dominant force in men's super heavyweights in the 70s. All the way through. Now, Corchera. Wonder whether we could put one of those computer games together. Who was the greatest super heavyweight of all time? Camille Corchera. Got to get going here. 177, second attempt. A growling success.
Well, a growl at the bar as he walks away. He eyes it up as if to say, "Ah, don't mess me about again." Much better. Gets a much straighter position at extension. The bar stays closer to him. And this time, no mistaking.
Just to reiterate that the men in the B group, which Mikhaila went through for you, Alexei Bibik of the Ukraine, 189, and David Litvinov of Israel, 188. Very much in command of the clean and jerk competition at the moment.
Snatch
and
competition.
Now a bit of a cheer, a few more people in because it is the last competition on the last day. Anthony Savchuk for Russia. $180 to start with. 190, his best. Well, at least executing in a good way.
In a great way. Take a look at the replay and you'll see how high, not how high, look how low the bar stays. It barely comes above his waistband. That's the upward momentum, giving him plenty of time to drop under. He's not trying to lift it higher than he needs.
Enzo Kavogi for the Netherlands, coming on for 180. Again, another personal best, just looking for 3 out of 3. This is a European Championship where he's testing himself. He's set his own targets. His target will be to set these new marks, and if he can, get 6 out of 6 for the afternoon.
He tugged at this, he went too early. As the bar passed his knees, he pretty much passed his knees and went for the lift. You've got to wait a little bit longer to get that full extension. Just yanked through the shoulders back. Unlucky.
So a 5 kilo personal best for the Dutchman, but he's finished at the moment, and here's Pedernage prowling around. 8 of today's 10 competitors have met each other in previous competitions, particularly in 2019, and they rejoin in battle today, and this is indeed one of them. So 182 for Pedernage, but still only in 3rd place at the moment, behind the 2 B group lifters.
And the cheeky smile at the end, he knows he was lucky to hang on to this. A few steps forward, stays on the 4-meter square platform. Doesn't matter at this point, you're just happy that the weight has stuck overhead. That's a great recovery from Pedernage. Missed his first one, 176. Nailed the second 2.
But to put it in perspective, Mikhailo, he is 11 kilos down on his lifetime best. So Camille Corchera, well, apart from the young Dutchman, this is a battle of the old boys at the moment. So Corchera lying in 3rd place, going for 182. So this is a 5 kilo increase. Well, I've got to say, Mikhailo, this is very much to whet everybody's appetite, given that Varazdat Lalayan of Armenia has posted 200 as his opener, Gormanisian 205, and Talakhadze a relatively modest 208.
It seems like we have 2 halves of the competition, those that have been thus far and those that are yet to come. 10 lifters in this category, 5 are in and finished pretty much, 5 yet to start.
5 kilo increase for Savchuk. That's a good lift and very straightforward, and 185 takes him into 1st place. I wonder whether he's going to take the extra 5 and go to 190. If he does that, then he'll be looking to equal the best he's ever produced.
With this kind of body weight, it's normal to see 5 kilo increases. It wouldn't surprise me if we see 10, 15 kilo increases with 1 or 2 lifters, particularly on the clean and jerk.
Savchuk, early days leading for Russia from Pedernage of Hungary. Camille Corchera of the Czech Republic in third. But when I say leading in this A group, but not leading in the competition overall, because still our man from the Ukraine and our man from Israel, Alexei Bibik and David Litvinov, still have the lead with 189 and 188 respectively. They will be surpassed, but at the moment, as they look on to this, they might be wondering perhaps why they weren't in the A group. And it's all determined by the entry totals that are being put in by the coaches at the final verification meeting 48 hours before the first competition of the championships.
Totally, David, and it may be worth just highlighting why there is an A and a B group, and it's predominantly, tell me if I'm wrong, for TV purposes. We've got a scheduling that we've got to stick to, so we've got to make sure we can get through all of the lifters in time. Hence, we have to cut it off at a certain point, and that is normally around 10 lifters. Anybody that is ranked lower down the pecking order based on those entry totals will be put into a B group.
Yeah, one hopes that you get the right men in the A group so that you have the best possible fight. To be perfectly honest, I've never been that fascinated by records, but what I do enjoy is a really good fight. Savchuk. 3 out of 3, 119 equals his personal best. And at last, the B group are, well, not dismissed, but put to one side.
That's some really, really good aggressive lifting, very dynamic on the platform. He meant business from start to finish. His first attempt was great, second attempt was better, third attempt, well, this 190 blew the B group away.
So 5 men have lifted, 5 men yet to start. Well, Irakli Turmanidze is a really good athlete, but he's in the same era as his illustrious teammate, Lasha Talakhadze. So inevitably, for most of his lifting career, he's been in the shadow of his teammate. But he has won the European title.
Oh, Bobby's gone.
That's when the heart rate of the central referee goes up a bit.
Yeah, I nearly fell sideways off my chair then, trying to correct his position. That's a real shame, and you don't really want to be messing around with those kind of weights in the overhead position. You start twisting and staggering, that's when you're at risk of injury. He was never balanced, ran out of space on that 4-meter platform. That's a real shame.
Bronze medal in Rio behind his illustrious teammate when he picked up 207 kilos. That's the best he's ever done in the snatch. Be quite grateful if he doesn't destroy the stage on the very last day. That would be somewhat embarrassing.
I remember that happened in a British national championships once. We were competing and it was in a sports hall on a sprung floor. Which plonker thought that would be a good idea? And within the first competition there were 2 big holes. It's happened at the National Sports Centre in Cardiff as well, where organisers haven't set up the platform in the correct place or haven't reinforced it properly.
Yeah, I've done that myself. I organised a competition in Iceland in a supermarket and surrounded by all the food courts, and I didn't realise that there was a supermarket underneath, and every time anybody dropped the bar there was a complete vibration. Luckily it was only a 1-day competition, so we sort of got away with it. But I know exactly what you mean. Now Turmanidze, 191, he can do this. But it does tell you, Michaela, that not for the first time we've got a weight category here where we now know 50% of the men are lifting below their previous best by some margin. Well, his balance is just all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, the shrug of the shoulders, the raise of the eyebrow, he's giving us everything is off balance. Looks like he's carrying a shoulder niggle, something, but he's very, very off balance in that receiving position, and that's 2 from 2 failed lifts. He needs to make one to stay in the competition. He's under a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, nobody wants his weight. Nobody wants 191. The bar will be going to at least 197. And when it does that, we'll, with no disrespect to anybody, hopefully be into the competition proper, so to speak, the real fight for medals. So he has 2 minutes to follow himself. It's a bit of a subdued start, really, isn't it?
A little, yeah. I think just the weights are down from what we've seen in the B group, so we're kind of waiting for something to get exciting. But look, we've still got 4 lifters yet to join this competition, and obviously Talakadze is the one that everybody is eagerly anticipating. But right now, Tumanidze has a job to do.
So Tumanidze weighed in at 141.78 kilos. His Georgian teammate, the champ, Talakadze, 176.3. So this is where the sport gets on the side of the lifter, no matter where you come from. We don't like people going home without a total. But from what we've seen, we have to be concerned. Can he pull this one out and stay alive for the total?
Oh dear.
36 years of age now, bombs out. He didn't get a total in the 2017 European Championships. He didn't get a total in the World Championships in 2018. It's becoming an uncomfortable habit.
Always disappointing to see that kind of result. But hey, no lifter comes out here and does this intentionally. All we can do is ask lifters to give their very best in that split second, and that's what they're doing.
Edouard Giajulin for Belarus. 4th in the World and the European Championship ranking 2 years ago. An under-23 silver medalist also in 2019. Still in the under-23 ranks. 197 for the outright lead. Very good. Only a kilo below his personal best, but that's an encouraging start.
An encouraging start, it certainly is. He's come out here, meaning business, 197 straight into the lead. 3 lifters yet to start. They do have higher entry weights, obviously, otherwise they would have started already. But that was very good technically, very fast. And that's what's most impressive about this category, is how fast and how agile these big guys are.
Varazdat Laladian are going to 200 kilos for the man from Armenia. Armenia lying 4th overall in the medal table. 5 golds, 6 silvers, 6 bronzes. Okay, he's never on a competition platform picked up 200 kilos before. 194, yes, that's the best. And a new mark for the world and European junior champion of 2019. Good start again.
Well, he's a strong boy, isn't he? Wouldn't have liked to have fed him growing up. Great start to the competition. Really good position underneath the bar. For such a young man, he's got a great future ahead of him.
Well, there you have it. Giajulin of Belarus, 22 years of age. This guy, or I should say, Laladian of Armenia, 21 years of age. Now, Giajulin going up to 202 kilos, so this is a personal best by, just having a look, 2 kilos, isn't it? No. His previous best was 198. Yeah, 4 kilo personal best attempt. That's a real pity, that.
Disappointing. The first attempt looked very sharp. This one a little bit more laboured. It was more of a drag up the legs than an explosive kick and catch. Not quite, it's just another inch needed on that bar height-wise. Needs to find the legs.
2 men still to start, Gormanisian and Lasha Talakhadze. Giajulin, 4 times he's finished 4th in European and world competitions. He won't want to be finishing 4th again today. But if he's not going to finish 4th, then he definitely needs these extra kilos, because .202 will be his 3rd and final attempt in the snatch phase, and Laladian has 2 attempts left, and Talkhadze and Gormanisian yet to start. Well, Mikhaila, what do you think? Is he strong enough? I think he is.
I think he's strong enough, yeah. He's just got to have that spark about him. He seems to have come onto the platform more focused. Oh.
Same error.
Well, no, he overcompensated. The last one wasn't quite to arm's length, and he dropped it in front. This one, he really gave it everything. Maybe a little bit too much. The shoulders whipped back and the bar swung. Didn't even slow down overhead. Straight out the back door. Left on 197.
Armenia, Gormanisian. 2-time world silver medalist, 2-time European silver medalist, Rio Olympic silver medalist. So, an achiever. Opening up on 205. Well, he certainly looks businesslike to me.
He does. Very different stature to Lasha Talakadze. Much shorter, far less distance for the bar to travel, so in some ways an advantage. That said, Talakadze has a much longer back, so more leverage. 205, he pretty much power snatched it. Very good.
Talakadze, 208 still. Flanders is opening effort, and Lalalian now for Armenia. So Armenia 1 and 2, so trading blows, these guys. So Lalalian, he had 200, now he wants 205. He's in second position. This will just keep him in second place, but match him up to Manisian. Stands, and for the first time on a competition stage, or I should say the second time, succeeds with more than 200 kilos.
Very impressive. Tender age of just 21 years. As we said already, he's got a great future ahead of him. Very good technically, very precise in his movements, very quick underneath the bar, and a tremendous amount of self-belief.
So Lalalian's got 1 attempt left, Manisian's got 2, and Talakadze has put the bar up to 211 kilos for his opener. Looks to me as if he's fairly determined to let these guys finish their fight, and then he'll come onto the stage. I might be wrong, but let's see what happens. Manisian 210, Lalalian at the moment 209. A lot of prowling around.
Yeah, these guys don't want to sit down. They want to keep the blood flowing, keep the legs ticking over. Sometimes, if you've got a few lifts between your first and second, or second and third attempts, you can sit down and switch off, and we don't want that to happen.
So Lalalian, 209 kilos. But he's certainly pushing the boundaries now. Ah, what a pity. But it would have been a useful milestone, to say the least.
Well, you cannot question him. He gave it a good go. Soft on that right arm. Shoulder sank a little bit. David, let's put this in perspective. He's... Ignore me.
Sorry, you were going to ask me a question, weren't you?
Well, no, I'm just trying to work out year of birth here. So, Lion is only 21, and he's already attempting here. He wasn't far off there at 209. Just remind everybody watching what the world record is.
220, but
Okay.
I was going to actually allude to something else, which is what he was trying to do there. The European junior standard, he's 21, but the European under-23 standard is 197, and he's already achieved 200 and 205. So that is a new record at European under-23 standard for Lalalian.
But the point I'm trying to make here is he's got a chance over the next few years to make up 10 kilos.
Yeah. Talakadze, the boss, 27 years of age. He's won everything in the sport. Comes in, picks up 211 kilos as if it was a feather.
Unbelievable. The way he's moving, lightning fast. And I think that is what distinguishes him at the moment as the out-and-out best lifter in the men's supers, is just the speed and the power that he imparts on the bar. And as you said, he literally lifted that like there was nothing on there. Incredible.
So Manisian with 2 attempts, 212, the kilo required to go back into the gold medal position ahead of Talakhadze. Wasn't easy, but he got there in the end.
Well, he's not happy to let Talakhadze rule the way here. That red light from the centre referee was for his right elbow. Take a look. Just a little flicker there. I was like, oh, did I see that or didn't I? Hence why I didn't say anything. Centre referee picked up on it. Lucky to get away with it.
Yeah, and that's the frustration, isn't it? Because earlier in the week, we've seen people who were red-lighted for that, but they didn't get away with it because the majority decision was against them. But on this occasion, Manisian of Armenia goes ahead. He's got 1 more attempt. Talakhadze has posted 2:17. Manisian and his coach is having a think about this. Here you can see the work of the loaders. The instructions are that they have to thoroughly clean the bar and clean the weights between every single lift because of the COVID-19 requirements. And they should also actually be mopping the platform as well. So there are no rogue particulates on the platform when the next lifter comes out. The other thing that you will see from this warm-up room, there are 12 platforms. No lifter is allowed, or no 2 lifters from any one country are allowed to share a platform, which doesn't happen very often these days, but used to happen in the past.
Yes, I remember at the Commonwealth Games sharing a platform. When was that? It was back 2002, I think, was the last time that happened for me. Nowadays, you tend to have your own platform, and that's because they know, the organisers know, there's going to be no more normally than 10 in the A group.
So Manisian waiting to come out to take 2:16, Talakhadze 2:17. Well, the world record snatch 2:20 belongs to Talakhadze. It's not that far away, Michaela.
Okay, so we got 2:60. Yeah, we're really, really close now. And Talakhadze is going to have to secure the gold medal before he goes for anything crazy. But he's got the stepping stone and the opportunity here.
Yeah. Having a 6-kilo increase for Talakhadze. That's just food and drink. And Manisian now. So 2:16, personal best attempt by 4 kilos. Stand still, and that, he's got the signal to put it down from the central referee. And that is 4 kilos more than he lifted in the World Championships in Thailand in 2019.
Well, that was the best out of the 3. Drops the chest as he comes off the floor, hence the stagger to compensate. Just stayed on the platform. And that's thrown the gauntlet down to Talakhadze. Talakhadze's to give away now. Brilliant lifting. Absolutely fantastic from Manisian of Armenia.
So he's guaranteed the silver, Gore. He's had world silvers and European silvers. He'd love to have the gold, but there's a big mountain in the way, and this is he. 2:17 to get the medal. It's frightening how easy he made that look.
I have no words, it totally is. Just the precision, technical excellence, and for a big guy to move at such speed. The speed is lightning fast, even at this body weight. Very, very impressive.
the strength is amazing. I mean, you see competitions like the World's Strongest Man where they're pulling trucks and lifting tires and hauling stones around, but you know, Talakadze is truly immensely strong.
Oh, the strength is undeniable, but this isn't just strength. This is a tremendous ability to move at speed. This is pure power. Right? Absolute power, explosion in a split second. The precision with this kind of weight is incredible.
All right, the bar's gone to 222. And we all know what that is. That is a new attempt. A new record attempt. .220 is what this man did in the World Championships in Pattaya in 2019. He then picked up 264 in the jerk for his biggest ever total of 484. He is the man that makes this world class.
And as well, despite the body weight, normally at the heavier body weights, the guys like to take a little longer recovering. He doesn't have that luxury because he's out and out favourite. He's got to be able to respond to a ticking clock, and he's doing that very well. Still out of breath. I'm sure he'd like a couple more minutes, but that's not an option. Very experienced.
So, a world record attempt at the snatch. Lasha Talakadze of Georgia by 2 kilos, and of course this would inevitably stamp his whole authority on the competition. At the moment he leads by just 1 kilo from Gormanisian. But he's in tremendous condition. We were chatting about him the other day, Mikhaila. You said he'd been training well. He has been training well because, again, the second attempt was easy. That looks so straightforward.
It really does, and this is the difference between a lifter that moves well. You know, somebody that has this technical precision. If they've trained hard and they're coming into the championship strong, then this is what you can do. Those lifters that are getting 6 out of 6 on this kind of stage, they're the ones that perform personal best when it matters. That was truly inspiring. World record, #1.
You know, and he's won 4 European Championships, and he's on his way, arguably, to a 5th. And there are not many that win 5 European Championships in their career. So,
that's coach saying you can have a beer tonight if you get the clean and jerk.
He might have more than 1 beer. If Talakadze gets all 3 gold medals here, he could haul Georgia up to 3rd place in the overall medal table. But you can see there, Talakadze, Menjerk, it all looks quite innocent, doesn't it there? Manisian, Lalalian on 240, and Talakadze 245. But remember, his world record is 264, but we'll be a wee while before we get to that as Russia's Anthony Savchuk comes out. Now, Savchuk in 5th place at the halfway stage. .215, pretty well as you'd expect for an opening attempt, well within his compass.
Lots of upward float on the bar. He stands with no bother at all. Yeah, pretty precise in his movements, well done.
Interesting, Savchuk last year, just before lockdown in the Rome World Cup international event, he actually clean and jerked 228, so 215 again. It's difficult to judge because we just can't be sure how the past year has gone for these guys. Pedernage got a personal best in the clean and jerk of 233. Now, just a reminder of the men in the B group. Alexei Bibik of the Ukraine, who lifted earlier this morning, 410. And David Litvinov of Israel totaled up 401. So Savchuk has got past the Israeli, but it's still Alexei Bibik, I should say, of the Ukraine with 410, who leads the overall competition. His clean and jerk was 221, so he leads the clean and jerk at the moment.
Looks like lots of scratches out that we've just seen there through Terminidz's name. As they've
Yes,
scratched him out of the competition.
Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah, not going for a clean and jerk.
So we're down to 9 from the 10 who started. Now, who's going to come in next? Zhazulin of Belarus, 220 could be. Enzo Kworge of Netherlands, 221. We're in that sort of territory now. Savchuk's gone up to 221, Padanaj to 222. So quite a big set of changes in the weights now. Zhazulin to 227. Khawogi's gone up to 222. So Savchuk at the moment of Russia. Here he is coming out for 221, 6-kilo increase. The Russians only one championship in the past 9 days. Akhmarova yesterday in the women's 87 kilos.
He's quietly getting on with his performance. Not messing around here. Another strong lift. Not a huge amount to report technically. Moves very, very well. And what's most impressive is he's consistent from lift to lift.
I'll tell you one thing that's going to be different between here and Tokyo. A lot of these lifters and coaches are going to find that the COVID-19 discipline is going to be enforced rigorously compared to here. There won't be hugging, there won't be kissing, there won't be handshakes, there won't be moss over the mouth but not on the nose. You can be absolutely sure that the compliance will be absolutely rigorous.
Yeah, a little shame it hasn't been adhered to or taken as seriously at these championships.
Well, we won't know till after the championships if there are positive cases, hopefully not. Now, Enzo, 222. So, the European silver medalist of 2 years ago sets a new personal best in the clean and jerk. Good for him. Gets a total of 398. So he's now 7 kilos ahead of his all-time best in terms of the total.
He's a very tall guy, a long way for that bar to travel. He's outstanding in his positions. Very, very stable in the overhead position as well. Shawnee's probably a bit of tendonitis there. Quads are working every single session. Many, many squats. I think I was asked the other day on Instagram how many snatches I estimate I've done in my career, and I think I calculated about 312,000. It's a lot of repetition.
The correction, though, is that Kawogi, not a good lift, 222, lost it.
Huh? I missed something there.
So did I. I thought it was okay.
I thought it was spot on. The referees are happy with that one. I'm confused there. I'd love to see a replay of Kawogi's first attempt there. I definitely missed something, so apologies to the viewers, but that looked to be a really good lift. Take that back if it was a press out, but...
Pedernage, like an old warrior, really. These guys, in a way, in this particular weight class, are like gladiators. And Kawogi still blowing. So 222. For the second time of asking.
I'm just wondering if they called the first one possibly on an elbow touch. That one there was close with the elbows to the knees. I would love to see that first attempt replay. The elbows are not allowed to touch the knees. Just wondering if that was the mistake on the first attempt.
Ja, iets te veel. Ja.
It's a big test now. He needs to regain his composure, put what has just happened behind him. Not a fan of these kind of knee wraps because you don't have time between lifts to faff around with them. He would dearly like to take those off and readjust them properly, but he hasn't got time for that. The clock is ticking. He's got 2 minutes. He's following himself. Probably a minute of that has gone already.
Yeah, he really needs this to get his total. Okay, he is trying personal best here, but that was something he prepared for, is something he expected. It's just a pity that nobody else wants 222. That's just bad luck from his point of view. Yeah, and I've just been communicating with Mark Hooster and Ronnie Ringuth, Michaela. You were absolutely right. It was an elbow touch. So that's why he lost the first attempt.
Thanks to our fellow German commentators for that.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Mark.
An elbow touch is not something you see very commonly, and even then it's like, did we see that, didn't we? I totally missed it. I'm going to put my hands up on that one. Well,
so come on, fingers crossed.
Elbows must stay off his knees. There we go. No problems this time.
Come on, do this. Come on. Yes. I'm really, really pleased for him. He saved the day, surely. Huge effort there.
A tremendous effort to pull that out the bag. That was great work from Enzo. Really dug deep here, still out of breath, elbows high this time.
So he's got a personal best in the snatch, a personal best in the clean and jerk, a personal best in the total. So the youngest man in the competition at the age of 19 saves the day, and now we go to the other end of the age scale, Yuri Ursag. (32 years of age. Almost been there and done it. European silver and bronze overall medalist in his time. You sensed a bit of enjoyment from him there.
I was trying to work out whether that was a hop of celebration or a hop of pain in his left knee. I'm not sure. But either way, the lift itself is good. Sits, then stands. The drive to arm's length is no problem at all. Hardly splits the feet at all. Could do with going a bit further forwards, further back to get himself underneath the bar on the heavier weights.
Yoshi, who, you know, we've seen in international competition for 14, 15 years. This is what you can tell me, Michaela, about weightlifting. You just can't let it go.
Oh, it's such an addiction, it really is. The fact that you always feel as though you can go that bit more. Even if you hit a personal best, it's like, well, maybe next competition I could have another kilo or two. So it's, I guess it's the feeling of never being satisfied with what you achieve. And as I said, you can always do more in this sport.
2 Czechs in the competition. Camille Corchera, the other man, and here he is, first attempt, 2:27. His lifetime best, 2:36. That was actually in the last European Championships, and he's actually 4 years older than his teammate Jerzy. Little battle as to who's the strongest man from the Czech Republic out of these two.
That's right, and Camille really having to dig deep here. Doesn't look overly comfortable with that bar on his shoulders. Catches it clean with his elbows very low. Jerks slightly out of position. He had to work hard.
Now, Edward Giajulin, the first task of the competition for this promising lifter, a bit expensive. He had 2 goes at 202 kilos in the snatch, and he failed both. That left him in 4th place. It's not the ranking, it's the lack of kilos. Okay, well, at least he's on his way, but at the halfway stage, he was 8 kilos behind the man who got the bronze medal, Varazdat Laladian of Armenia, who isn't due to arrive until the bar gets to 240 kilos.
Just see here on the clean, he turns to face us. That's how my back injury started. Years and years of torsion on the spine. Need to be careful. Want to stay as symmetrical as possible.
He's the man who finished 4th in the world and the European Championships in 2019, and finished previously 4th in the European and World Junior Championships on 2 occasions. Now Savchuk. Well, he's coming out for his 3rd and final attempt. He's got 5 out of 5. The bar's gone up 7 kilos, so he's looking for a total of 418 kilos. Well, 6 out of 6, Michaela.
6 out of 6. That was a big ask on his last attempt. 7 kilo increase here between second and third. He stood out with a clean like there was nothing on the bar. I was almost convinced that he was smiling as this bar was overhead. It might have been a grimace, but it looked very much like he was in control.
228 wasn't a personal best in the clean and jerk, but what he's done overall in the competition is to total up 418 kilos. And just having a little check on his previous best in competition, and that is an overall best by 6 kilos. So, sorry, by 2 kilos. He was at 416 in the 2016 championships, but good work there by Savchuk. Well, even if he'd picked it up, it wasn't going to change much, to be honest, for Perenage. He's left on 404 kilos, the same total that he produced 2 years ago.
That's right, that was never in the head. You've got to believe in it before you can attempt it.
Yediorsa Yerji currently down in 4th place overall, so 232, 7 kilo increase to give him a total of 402 kilos, but 232 put him into 1st place in the clean and jerk. You know, I'm really delighted to see that he's enjoying himself so much more in this part of the competition than the opening snatch phase.
Yeah, and the reaction that you get from the lifters after they put the bar down says a lot. It's nice to see that, almost that relief. Once they've completed the lift, they have to stay so focused and work so hard throughout. That one's gone to arm's length and stuck. 2 from 2 on the clean and jerk.
Another challenge, Michaela, and you've had this, is when you come to the end of your weightlifting career, like all sportsmen and women when they come to their final competitions, and then physically it's a wind down, but that's not necessarily easy.
No, I mean, lots of different ways of approaching it. For me, the biggest wind down was get myself a dog. I had no intentions of carrying on training and winding it down after my career, but what I did do was move to other physical activity just to keep my body ticking over, because otherwise it is a huge void in your life, so psychologically, but physically your body says, hey, what's going on?
So Camille overtakes Yerji by a kilo for the clean and jerk. Well, it's a final fight between these two Czech boys, isn't it?
You've got to love a close competition, and I believe, am I missing something here? Yeah, they've both got an attempt left, so yeah, it really is nip and tuck for top honours between them.
Giajulin now. Currently, he's got the most kilos at 424. And this is a 6 kilo increase to give him a total of 230.
No, he's not going to get that, I don't think. I wasn't planning on him dropping it behind. There was movement in the elbows. He probably sensed it as well. Take a closer look here. Nothing wrong with a clean, really good extension. Bar hits him a little hard at the bottom. Just watch the elbows. There we go, bent then straight.
Well, if we had 10 minutes, I could give you, Michaela, the opportunity to illuminate everybody as to the many, many ways of losing a lift, because there are so many ways in which you can lose a lift.
Yes, I don't even know where to start. I hope that the viewers who are maybe not familiar with weightlifting have started to understand some of the rules. I'm hoping that we've explained things in a way that's easy to follow. It can be quite a complicated sport.
Yeah, the one we both missed was the elbow touch, which is rare, but here comes Julien to try 233 again. He'll do well to get this. So this for a total of 430. Never really had sufficient time to recover anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily in the head. I think it's more, as you said, about recovery or lack of. I mean, I have enough trouble sometimes getting my lifters off their backside to take their next set, and they're not even on maximum weight. So I try and limit recovery to a minute, minute and a half.
So similarly to the first half of the competition, it really is essentially a competition of two halves, but I'm enjoying this little fight between the two Czechs. So Jerzy now coming out, and Jerzy's put the bar to 237. So he was a kilo behind because Camille came out and got 233. He's on 232. So this is the 237 for Jerzy. And then Camille will try and riposte. Oof.
So, if you try to pull with the arms and your tape slips, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's a real pity, because I was looking to both men getting their last attempts, but not to be. So Camille gets the honor.
The speed nearly took him out the back door, didn't it?
Well, that'll make the highlight of the weeks. Camille Corchera, 237. Just to get you back into touch, Lasha Talakhadze, 245. Gormanisian on 240. Varazdat Lalalian of Armenia, like Gormanisian, on 240 for their openers. And these are, or those are, the men who got gold, silver and bronze in the first half of the competition. So Corchera really to finish the hors d'oeuvre, and then we'll get on to the main course. So Camille Corchera looking for a 4 kilo increase here to give him a total of 419 kilos for the afternoon. A personal best if he can do it. Pity. And dizzy.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Just needs a second to get the oxygen in, undo the belt. The doctor will be there just to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, it's a shame that, you know, if he'd done that at the age of 36, he would have got a kilo improvement on anything he's totaled up before. It's just a shame he couldn't pull this one off. So, as we move on, the current leader is the young Belarus athlete, Edward Zhazhulin, with 424 kilos ahead of the Russian Anthony Savchuk, who made all 6 attempts, and Camille Corchera, who you've just seen in the overall bronze position, leading the clean and jerk with 233 kilos. But this is Gormanisian with 240 to go into the lead. So Armenia into first place, 456 kilos.
No messing here on the clean. Jerk was super solid, back leg a little straight. That's going to pull the hips behind the bar. He's a fairly compact guy, not a huge distance for the bar to travel. Very good.
Did 460 as his total when he was behind Talakhadze in Pattaya in 2019 in the World Championship. So Manisian doing as much as he can to stay as close as he can to Talakhadze. And now Lalalyan of Armenia. So you could say there's a bit of a battle going on between the two Armenians. Manasian, though, had 216 kilos to bring forward from the snatch. This man only 205. So he's in catch-up mode. $240 plus 205 puts him into the overall silver medal position on 445 kilos. He is 11 kilos behind his teammates.
I'm just impressed, so impressed with the weights that are being shifted here at just the age of 21. Nice straight dip. Front foot could go forwards a little bit more. The bar has flown to arm's length.
Do you know what his previous best was, Michaela?
Oh, go on, break it to us.
European Junior 2 years ago, 424, and Lalalyan has now got 445.
Now, he is young. We would expect to see some progress. That is a very substantial amount of progress in a very short time.
Well, here comes the master of his craft. If he does in the clean and jerk what he did in the snatch, which was to secure not only a world record, but make it look really straightforward, not under any sort of stress. But Lasha Talakhadze, 27 years of age, Olympic champion, 4 times world champion, and heading for his 5th world championship title. The 5th European title, I should say.
And the question now is which lifter can recover most optimally between attempts. Huge height on the bar achieved. Hardly moves the feet, doesn't need to.
His clean and jerk world record is 264. I've got a gut feeling, Michaela, that he's not going to, well, he's not going to need it, but I think he's probably not going to go for it either.
Well, first and foremost, the priority is to secure gold. So I would anticipate him putting his weights right up, forcing the other lifters to come in. He's nominated 255. So he's opted for the bar to go up 10 kilos. Depending on what the others do, will determine whether he takes that, comes down to just above any other weights clean and jerked. He's just put that up to let the others come out.
So Gormanisian now, 8 kilos, 248. This is to go into the lead in the clean and jerk. and is to take him to 464 to get within 3 kilos of Talakadze. He's a strong boy, isn't he?
Well, the Armenians here are meaning business. 2 of them chasing at Talakadze's heels.
Yeah, he's only a year younger than Talakadze.
Looking more impressive as the competition is going on.
Well, this is world-class lifting. Absolutely.
It totally is. I mean, we've got 3 lifters here still in the mix. The bar is now at 250. 250, goodness me.
Yeah, just to remind everybody, Talakadze, of course, the Olympic champion, but Gomanisian is the Olympic silver medalist from Rio. Talakadze is the world champion from 2019. Gomanisian is the world silver medalist from 2 years ago. And Lalalian, now 250, so this is a 10-kilo increase. Now, this is to go into the lead in the clean and jerk, and it would take him to 455. So his focus is really on the clean and jerk. But already he's made immense numbers compared to 2 years ago. 455, 2019, 424. If he makes this. One more attempt.
There's
and
not much
he is
you can
going to have
do.
to follow himself.
Yeah, there's just not much you can do when you go dizzy like that. You just need time to recover. And unfortunately, time is against them. Nobody else wants this weight, so he's going to be following himself. Just 2 minutes to recover. That is a huge ask. The coach just giving him a whiff of smelling salts as he came off the platform. Bit of ammonium sulfate to blow the cobwebs away.
So, as it stands, it looks as if Armenia are going to take overall silver and overall bronze. It looks as if Talakadze is going to take his 5th European title. There are precisely 4 attempts remaining in the final competition of these European Championships. It's been a long 9-day journey. And I have to say, Michaela, we were circumspect, as were a lot of people, as to whether we could get through these championships and avoid a COVID-19 outbreak. So, touch wood, we've got there, which is, I have to say, for an indoor competition, amazing. So, Lalalian for Armenia. What is achieved already is immense. To be honest, I'd be surprised, yet delighted if he can do this. But this is one heck of a question. 21, still in the under-23 ranks, going for 455. The under-23 record is already broken, and that was 435. So he's got under-23 records to his credit here as Lalalian. And he finishes with overall bronze medals from each of the disciplines. And now it's down to Minasian versus Talakadze.
Well, I'd go as far as saying this one wasn't in the head.
So Talakadze 253, Manisian 252. It is his last attempt. It's a 4 kilo to take him to 468.
Try this for the lead on the clean and jerk and the total. Big lift here for Gort.
Another big personal best attempt.
No.
So, confirmation that Lasha Talakadze has won his 5th European title. Gormanisian, not for the first time, has to play second fiddle to Talakadze.
Same kind of issue there, struggling to stay dizzy free. What's Talakadze doing now? 253.
253, 8 kilo increase. So he planned this. This, of course, will give him all 3 gold medals. His first clean and jerk was on 245. So objective number 1, win the clean and jerk gold. Not as if there was any doubt.
No doubt in his mind, no doubt in anybody else's mind. The big question now is he going to take a 3rd, and is he going to go big?
I've got a feeling
really
that
strong,
might have been a farewell wave, you know.
I think that jerk, if he is going to come out, needs to be more legs in that, more spark.
Well, his world record is 264, which means he would have to take, what's that, 11, 12 more kilos. I don't think he's going to go for that.
Well, he doesn't look like he's stopping.
No, 258, but that's just buying time.
Agreed. Well, 263, a kilo underneath the clean and jerk world record, would give him a new world total record.
Yeah, I suppose if you look at it that way, 484. So
263 is what's being nominated. So he's going for a total world record.
Yeah, that's the 10 kilos, as you rightly say. Well, I was wrong. I didn't think he'd... I was really thinking that he might not be going for any world records this afternoon, funnily enough. I mean, we've had the joy of seeing him increase his snatch world record from 220 to 222.
David, when you're in this kind of shape, you want to test and see what you're capable of, especially with it being Olympic year. My concerns right now, that last jerk was borderline. This next one has to be far better, far more explosive, and that's exactly what the coaches are telling him right now.
Well, here's the thing. How much difference is there for him going for 263 or 264?
Well,
and getting the clean and jerk record.
64, I believe, would equal it, so he'd need 65.
Yeah.
So maybe he's saving that
bit...
for the summer.
What he is doing, of course, is sending a message to any of his potential opponents, although you'd have to look far and wide to find them, don't bother coming to Tokyo, but if you do, I'm going to give you a beating. So, as you rightly said, a 10 kilo increase from 475 to 570, 475 to 485, and this would be for a world record total by a kilo. This is serious business. Oh, why do I ever doubt him?
Well, that is the sign of a true champion. Can recover under pressure.
European Championships to an end with a world record in the total. And Michaela, what a way to round off the championships.
Wow, truly inspiring. I called his second attempt as close on the jerk. This one he made no mistake in. Exploded with the legs. Some great coaching going on. Whatever they're saying to the Georgian lifters is working. Positions under the bar are absolutely spot on. Lasha Talakadze, congratulations, 2 world records today.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, Karkash Kashak really delighted as well. And Georgia with 3 gold medals, thanks to the Olympic, world and European champion, moved from 5th in the medal table to 3rd overall, unofficially. And so we've got to the end of the 9 days, Michaela, by some measure.
That's a lot of categories.
And there is the confirmation. You can see there 6 out of 6 for Talakadze, and the only other man to do that, Anthony Savchuk of Russia. Well, I guess it's nice to finish with a couple of world records in the European Championships. The Super Sunday has, in its own way, lived up to the right name. Well, Mikhailo, he's got to be right up there, hasn't he? You know, Olympic champion, 4 world championships, 5 Europeans.
Right up there is an understatement. He's outstanding, truly outstanding, regardless of his past. He is an extremely talented man and is just performing time and time again, regardless of the stage. He brings his A game. He prepares meticulously, and it's just amazing to be able to sit back and watch this.
21 kilo victory margin there for Talakadze. Manassian yet again has to settle the silver. Lalalian, huge improvement, 445, and he takes all the bronze medals for Armenia. So we've got a few moments to reflect on the past 9 days. Highlights for you, Michaela?
Oh, that's a tough question, David. We've had 20 weight categories. Let me go. I'm going to call my highlight of the men's. I was going to say Angel Rusev of Bulgaria in the men's 55 world junior records, but you've got to put Lasha Talakadze's world records above that. So today's performance there from Lasha in the men's, and the women's, well, I'm going to be very general here and say that the British team. 4 girls came, 3 went back with medals. Sarah Davis, I know you've got some news on Sarah's performance, silver medalist, but both Emily Muscat, Emily Campbell, gold medals. Hasn't happened since 1995. There's my money.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The interesting thing about Sarah Davis, they have the Sinclair point rankings, and now you can explain that which relates weight to body mass, body weight and body mass index. And, well, carry on. She's second only to Loredana Toma.
Absolutely phenomenal. So basically there's a formula. I'm not going to tell you what the formula is because I don't know it, to be honest. It's very complicated, but in a nutshell it works out what you've lifted compared to your body weight, and it gives an overall ranking. That's done across all the weight categories. And yes, Sarah Davis, she's come out as second best, only behind Loredana Toma. So Sarah Davis, what a phenomenal achievement. That alone is phenomenal. Well done.
Yeah, and remembering there is also the possibility, as you see the big man again, that Loredana Toma, the Romanians, may not be allowed to go to the Olympics. So there is the medal table. Great Britain finished in a very proud 6th place with 5 gold medals, 4 silvers, and congratulations to all of the British women. And I included that Zoe Smith, Sarah Davis, Emily Muscat, and of course Emily Campbell today. Because what they've done is collectively they have helped Britain in the women's medal table. This is the overall table you're looking at now. But in the women's medal table, Great Britain are 3rd behind Ukraine and Romania, but ahead of nations like Bulgaria, Russia, Azerbaijan and France. And that is down to 4 British women. And in the team classification for women, Great Britain, out of 36 participating countries in the women's division, are ranked 8th. And that is absolutely extraordinary again, given that we only had 4 women in 4 categories compared to the Russians, who had 10 representatives or representative in each of the 10 women's categories. Likewise, Turkey and the Ukraine, and 7 in Romania. The British women have done extraordinarily well, and if it does sound biased, well, I'm not going to apologize, because I think as a team effort that's terrific. So the last medal presentation of the European Championships, and hopefully it'll whet your appetite to join us throughout the Olympic Games in Tokyo to see some of these athletes. It'll be tough for a lot of them. They'll be up against the Asians, who start their Asian Continental Championships in just a week from now. I think they're starting the dismantling of the hall already.
I wasn't sure if someone was pinching that to think they could fit it in their suitcase and take it home.
Yes. A little large. So here we go.
At the European Weightlifting Championships in Moscow, Russian Federation 2021.
Леди и джентльмены, мы рады приветствовать вас на церемонии награждения весовой категории свыше 109 килограммов на чемпионате Европы по тяжелой атлетике в Москве 2021.
At first, I would like to introduce the medal.
So the
Награждение проводят
honored guest who will be
interest section in Switzerland, Ambassador Dr. Georgi Kadzaya.
глава секции интересов Грузии при посольстве Швейцарии в Российской Федерации господин Георгий Каджая.
Deputy Minister of Education, Science, Culture and Sport in Armenia, Mr. Karen Giloyan.
Заместитель министра образования, науки, культуры и спорта Армении Карен Гилаян.
And Vice President of European Weightlifting, first Vice President of
This is the man on the left.
President of Russian Weightlifting Federation, Mr. Maxim Agapitov.
Первый вице-президент Европейской
President of
Федерации
the
тяжелой
Russian
атлетики,
Weightlifting Federation, first Vice President of the European Weightlifting Federation.
At first victory ceremony in
So it's Lalalian who gets the overall bronze medal to recognize his achievements.
Second place with silver medal finished Gorminasian.
Massive improvement for Lalalian. Gorminasian, clearly the best of the rest, so to speak. 5 out of 6 lifts.
And next time,
216 in the snatch, 248 in the clean and jerk for 464. And Lasha Talakhadze, a world snatch record of 222. And then a clean and jerk of 263 to achieve a world total record of 485. Champion of Europe for a 5th time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to honor the winner's flags and the national anthem of Georgia.
Звучит национальный гимн Грузии в честь победителя.
Congratulations once again. Поздравляю еще раз.
So just the discipline medals to be distributed. I'm going to pick out 1 or 2 of my own athletes who I will remember from these championships.
Go for
In
it.
the men's division, the 81 kilo competition, Antonio Pizzolato of Italy, who defended his title.
Бронзовую медаль завоевал
That
Бараздат Лалаян, Армения,
certainly is
с
going
результатом
to
205
stick in my
килограммов.
memory. And it's not always the winners, but it's sometimes a woman, as displayed by Nina Sturks, who got a bronze medal in the overall championship of the women's 55 kilos. I thought that was a terrific achievement. And then, of course, we saw in the 87 kilos yesterday, Solfrid Koander of Norway getting a excellent medal, a bronze in the clean and jerk, which was a milestone for the new generation of Norwegian women.
I can't argue with you on those. I think they were all outstanding performances in their own right.
Thank you. And now medals in clean and jerk.
And so the last set of medals to be awarded for the clean and jerk. Lalalian the bronze, Minasian the silver, and Talakhadze the gold.
Next time, silver medalist is Gorminasian, Armenia, 248.
Серебряную медаль вновь завоевал Горминасян, Армения, 248
Well, it's been a long
килограммов.
journey, Michaela, over the last 9 days. We've seen, under the circumstances, some really good lifting. Obviously, not everybody came here in tip-top condition because of the COVID-19 restrictions of the past year. But I'm going to finish as I think you would wish me to do, to say congratulations to the British women for an outstanding performance, to Zoe Smith, to Sarah Davis, to Emily Musket, and to Emily Campbell. Michaela, last thoughts from you.
It's been thoroughly enjoyable, and it's been amazing to see weightlifting back on the TV, back on the international platform, and to have a competition that seems to have gone fairly smoothly considering all the restrictions placed upon it.
To all of you who've been with us throughout the past 9-day journey, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. I hope you'll join us for the Olympics. For now, from Michaela Breeze and myself, David Goldstrom, bye-bye from Moscow.